Hello. Well, I am really amazing at creating typos when I'm creating slides so I can post them that I'm going to do things. So thank you in advance for your forgiveness. I'm just like everybody else. I'm not perfect. And I have done so many things over the years that have helped contribute to that. And so I'll never claim to be perfect ever. But with that, I always just kind of try to learn from everything I've done, which is exactly what I want to talk to you tonight about. So I want to give you a high-level health history of where I've been. For those of you that don't know where I've been, again, I've got other videos that go into a little bit more detail about it that you can catch on Facebook until they delete them, which, by the way, I also have created, if you can believe it, a YouTube channel. Part of it is so I can kind of capture some of these things and not have to tell you again. I'll be very transparent, but at the same time, it's just kind of a record for me. I want to watch my journey and I want to see how many people I can help with things like this. So whether you're watching live or whether you're catching this at another time, that's okay. What's important is that maybe, just maybe by sharing my story, you'll see that you have the ability to heal just like I did. So with that going on, I just want to give you a high level. This is what I'm looking at for the last 50 years. Remember, I'm 50 years old. What are the diagnoses that have been listed for me? I've had, over the years, ovarian cysts, impacted wisdom teeth that required surgical removal, jaw dysfunction and pain, digestion issues, reflux, right upper quadrant pain, inability to digest fats. That led to my gallbladder being taken out. Diarrhea, constipation, it varied. It was all over the board. Bloating, migraines, insomnia, lots of insomnia, whether it was hard to fall asleep, hard to stay asleep, or wake up with a spinning mind, which also kind of contributed to the anxiety and depression diagnosis. Low back pain with nerve symptoms to the right foot. That was actually a few times. That ended up in a spinal fusion, hardware malfunction at one point with removal on one side only, a right hip tear, irregular menstrual bleeding, ovary complications with surgical exploration that found an ovary migrated somewhere in my bowel and attached to a place it was not supposed to be, elevated triglycerides and cholesterol, recurrent UTI symptoms without infections, multiple food sensitivities, severe joint pain and swelling, irritability, brain fog, inability to focus or handle things. The only two amazing things that I remember quite nicely were the fact that I ended up having 2 normal spontaneous vaginal deliveries that delivered 2 very beautiful, healthy girls. That was a good diagnosis. I like that one. Anywho, I've had 10 surgical procedures in my lifetime, countless diagnostic procedures and specialists that I've seen for that, many oodles and oodles of prescription and over-the-counter medications, including antibiotics over the years to manage all of these symptoms and all of these different diagnoses. So back in 2020, when the joint pain hit and when everything was going crazy in my life, I was done. I had it. I needed to find another way, and I did. But how on earth did I do that? Well, that's what I kind of want to share with you a little bit. I learned a lot in the last 5 years over a journey. And so it initially started working with a clinic in Florida, working with nutrition. But I also would like to really point in something that I actually did learn an awful lot. And I'm continuing to learn that things are not just about the food you're eating or what you're putting in your body as far as supplementation. In fact, quite honestly, that's only a very small part of it. That's the part that I really like to geek out on, because I think it's something that's very applicable to many people, and it's easier for them to do than actually maybe challenge some of the other things that include maybe some spiritual growth. Perhaps maybe there's some emotional things going on that people really truly need to manage and deal with. Also, maybe kind of coming into the idea that, you know what, maybe some of the lifestyle choices, maybe some of the food you've eaten, and again, some of the things you've placed on your body are part to blame. So with all of that, including the high stress, the lack of sleep, maybe not the best physical endurance and or strength that I've ever needed, and or the ability to want to or actually work out. So all of that can contribute to where you're at. But let's go back to the whole idea about figuring out where things were going on when I found a clinic in Florida. I was listening to a podcast of all things. And at that time, what I ended up doing was I took a big, huge leap of faith. And I connected with this clinic, not knowing any idea about what was going to happen on the other end of the phone. I really had no idea. But I met an amazing woman who was my practitioner, and she guided me. She guided me in the same way that I guide you. I guess I just didn't realize that's what I would be learning how to do later. So that's what's really kind of cool about this. I actually just recently came back from some training, and I met the woman, and I met the clinic that actually did everything for me 5 years ago. That is life-changing to kind of come back to that place. Why I'm getting off on that tangent is I literally just listened to her. I didn't have any idea. In fact, I didn't even challenge her. And those of you that know me, I love to challenge. I love to get to the root, and I love to understand what the evidence is that shows for things. And for this moment, I was just in this desperation mode that I just needed someone to tell me what the heck to do. I didn't want to fight it. I just really wanted to get better. So I believed in it. I believed what she told me. And that is another big key. You have to believe that you can heal. So what did I do? I did what she told me to do after a little bit of a fight, not gonna lie. I also tend to be one that doesn't like to do exactly what I'm told sometimes and likes to challenge the game. So I didn't exactly listen to everything she said immediately when it came time to doing certain food things and food shifts. We worked a little bit on that, but after about 2 months, I finally made the decision, you know what, let's just go all in. I was taking the supplementation she told me, and what was interesting about it, it actually started to work. I learned that I actually had bugs in my body. And when I say bugs, I'm talking about parasites. Now, that is not something that I ever expected. I always thought that that was a third world thing. You know, if you travel outside of the States, you're going to come in contact with that type of stuff. Now, guys, I got to tell you a little secret. If you have a pulse, which if you're watching this, you do, that means you're alive. And that means you do have parasites in your body. It's just not something that our culture traditionally manages and or tries to take care of. Back to my story. I had parasites and I had a lot of chemicals that were stuck. My body just didn't know how to get them out and couldn't detox them. And so I utilized her recommendations not only with dietary and lifestyle, but also with the very specific supplements that she said my body needed. Things really started to make some change and shift. What did that mean? My symptoms actually started to go away. That joint pain that I had tried for a long time and years and multiple medications to get rid of went away. My headaches and all those migraines started to go away. Life was actually turning around for me. I didn't know what was going on, but I just did it. Now, that caused me to go, could there be another way in this world to actually manage life? Not the traditional medical route. And you know what? I started digging. I was doing tons of research. And you know, if you look hard enough, you're going to find it. You're going to find that there's this amazing thing that you can utilize, which is simply scanning a body utilizing something called muscle testing, and it actually works. Crazy, yet efficient, and it's non-invasive. Who would have known? Another thing, did you realize that nutrition actually can help you? And if you utilize the right types of plant products, such as herbal and natural whole food products, you can help provide the body with the nutrition it needs to heal. My mind was blown. I needed to learn more about it. And so I actually started doing some training on it. What was really kind of fun is that I dove in and I actually got to a place within a year that I started working part-time as a health coach because I was so fascinated by it. I got to actually see what was going on and what was happening with the testing. And my mind was literally blown. And it was when my daughter started to have her health literally changed and completely turned around and off of very serious medications to handle her arthritis, that my mind was literally made up. I needed to learn as much as I could. So I invested in 3 different muscle testing courses over the years in order to be able to apply the latest, greatest, and best techniques, not only for those that I know and I care for in the clinic, but anybody that I might not. It has been life-changing, and the miracles that I've been able to witness over the years have been nothing short of just amazing. And it's truly inspiring just to be able to understand what can actually happen in that natural, more of a holistic, nutrition-based world. Now, with that being said, I don't discount the fact that I've got that medical background, and I feel that I've got a really amazing ability to bridge it. And bridge it in the way that says, you know what, I didn't really necessarily go along with it at first myself. But boy, oh boy, once I saw the amazing things that could happen, to truly understand how you can actually heal, it was life-changing. So that's what I try to do. I would love to be able to help you understand and maybe open your mind up a little bit more about what holistic healing can do for your body. And I'll kind of go into more detail on what that actually is in the workshop I'm having. So on April 29th, I'm going to be having a workshop at the St. Croix Innovation Center. It is free. There's nothing you need to do except come and learn. What I'll do is kind of dive in a little bit more detail about what this is and how this works for you. So I encourage you, come, but I will put a link in the comment section below just so you're able to register for it because there is limited seating for it. And again, I would love to see you on the 29th, 5:30 to 6:30, just to kind of learn. So with that, we're going to keep doing these lives. I think we're going to keep it a consistent time. We're going to go Monday nights at 7:30 Central Standard Time. With that, we're going to start talking about a lot of different topics. I was considering perhaps maybe I show you around the office so you can kind of get an idea of what happens when you come here. Another thing, I would love to throw out ideas for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comment section. I'd love to answer anything you have. And as the weeks go on, I'll just give you more tips and tricks. I'll dive into the nutrition component. We'll look at maybe some of the things that you can do, low cost or no cost. How hard is it to get outside and get into some sunshine and actually have the light get into your eyes, maybe ground? I'll teach you what that kind of stuff is. We'll learn about that, and you'll get to understand that there's a whole different way out there. It doesn't always have to be about medications for your symptoms or surgeries. There is another way. So with that, hey, that was only 11 minutes. Let's call this a night, and I look forward to seeing you next Monday at 7:30. Bye-bye.